This is a story taken from Supplementary Reader Class 7th book, An Alien Hand, Lesson 3, The Desert. It describes how it feels to live in a desert. It gives you a clear picture of living creatures there, how they get water from plant juices. A camel can survive and do without water for days. A desert can be hot like Thar Desert or cold like Ladakh. For specialists, desert is a beautiful place. How true it is, let's see by reading the lesson. Students, you can put earphones and follow in your own book. Later, you can read it yourself. By regularly listening to audiobooks or audio stories, one can improve reading accuracy, correct pronunciation, and improve on your fluency. Now, let's get started with our lesson, The Desert. You follow in your book, please. Go to your page number. You can see in your book, which is your page number. Page number is 15. Let's get started. Those of us who live in regions covered with forests and surrounded by hills may find it difficult to imagine what a desert is really like. The popular belief is that it is an endless stretch of sand where no rain falls and therefore no vegetation grows. It is dry, hot, waterless, and without shelter. But this is not entirely correct. For those who have studied it, the desert can be a beautiful place. It is the home of a variety of people, animals, and plants that have learned to live under very hot and dry conditions. True, the ground is not always hidden by a cover of grass, plants, trees as it is in other climates, but whenever it rains, which is rare, desert flowers bloom, and the sight can be as rewarding as that of any tropical garden. A desert is not always a flat, unchanging wasteland of dry sand. It may have mountains and hills. It may have an oasis, big or small. An oasis is like a green island in the middle of the desert where a spring or a well gives plants and trees a better chance to grow. A desert may be hot like the Thar or cold like Ladakh. But generally speaking, if a place has little or no water and vegetation, people usually call it a desert. Some deserts are almost totally without water. In such places, strong winds blow, raising heaps of sand and depositing them as mounds. These are called sand dunes that shift and move endlessly across the desert. Few plants can survive on such dry, shifting sands. Next, you have a comprehension check that you can read and you can find your own answers. All living things need water to survive in order to survive. The few plants and animals that live in deserts have developed the ability to require less water than most plants and animals. The camel, popularly known as the ship of the desert, can drink a lot of water at one time. Camels can do without water for days together. The reason is they sweat very little. We sweat because we must keep our body temperature constant. We sweat when it gets hot and this cools the body. Camels can stand high body temperature. They don't need to sweat and can therefore retain the water they drink for long periods of time. The smaller desert animals do not drink water. They burrow underground during the hot day and come out at night to eat. Some of them eat other animals and get the water they need from the moisture in the meat. Others eat plants and seeds and get the water they need from plant juices. Desert plants also adapt themselves to the life they need. Cactus plants store water in their thick stems. Their roots lie close to the surface of the ground and quickly absorb the moisture from the light rains that occasionally fall. The major feature of all the deserts is, of course, dryness and variations of temperature. In humid climates, the moisture in the air acts like the blanket and protects the Earth's surface from the hot rays of the sun. The absence of this blanket in desert lands causes the desert to heat up rapidly during the day and to cool off rapidly at night. Deserts are an important part of nature's great plan. They are there like the dense forests and deep oceans. Just because they are hot and dry, one should not look upon them as useless parts of the earth. With this, we come to the end of your lesson. Now you can read it yourself and do keep a check on the way you are pronouncing all the words. At the end of the pages, you have the meanings also. You can underline those words and see the meaning at the bottom. That's all. Thank you. Happy reading.